It's Alicia, and today I'm going to walk you through how to do a quick contract in Forms Arrest. You will notice when you log into Forms Arrest that it should be branded to Mainstream Realty Pros. If you don't see the Mainstream Realty Pros logo, please let us know. That means you're not connected to our brokerage. The first thing you're going to see here is region packages. These are packages that we have already preloaded into the system for you to make this very easy. So when you have a new buyer or seller, where you're going to start is actually right here on the Contract Wizard. So when you click on the Contract Wizard, you're going to see two options. You may just see one option, and that's fine. You're going to select the one that says Existing Packages or Region Packages. And then in this example, I'm going to show you how to just get your buyer contract done. There are some different options here. We have the Buyer Package Purchase Offer only, so this is just after you've done your buyer documents, you just need to write a contract. We have new buyer only, no purchase contract. This is the one most of you will use. And those of you who have transaction coordination services, you will see that you have a separate contract for the buyer and for the listing. And then you also see we have new listing packet here. In this case, we're just going to do the new buyer only. So I'm going to go ahead and just click that. And once you click that, it's going to ask you to show you what is included in that package and if you want to add or remove any items. You shouldn't be removing any of these items, but you're welcome to add any items if you'd like. You can just click the add and you can search for forms if you would like to add anything additional to that, because we've just basically done the basic things. In this example, I am not going to I'm not going to add anything, so I'm just going to save and continue, and it's going to take me to the next step. So here it's going to ask you who you're representing. In this case, we're representing the buyer, but you could also select seller. You could select both, or you can just say, don't use my profile at all. But in this case, we are going to select buyer. Then it's going to say, do you want to use an existing client or create a new client? I'm guessing most of you, if you are using this for the first time, you're creating a new client. You probably haven't put people in there yet. So in this case, if there isn't a property, if you're just doing the buyer contract docs, you don't need to fill any of this in. This is if you were writing a purchase contract, you could go ahead and put the property address in there. You're welcome to put your buyer's current address in there if you'd like for now, but really you're just going to put your buyer's name, and then down here you're going to put their email. And I'm just using ones that are generic for now, and then we're just going to save. Now it's saved that person, and now it's moved us to the form section. So this is where we can go ahead and input data into the form if we need to. The only data that you need to input for your buyer here is going to be some dates in the buyer's agreement. And you'll want to kind of get familiar with these forms, obviously, read through them. We're not going to do that in this particular training. But as you do that, you'll see that it's going to drop your buyer's name here, and it'll actually say like Susie Buyer. I typed in buyer name, so that's what it put. I'm in one of our agent's accounts, so you'll see it's going to put your name here. It's going to put our company. You're going to put the date your agreement starts. I'm just going to put today's date, and then you're going to put the date that it ends. I usually put it out 6 months. If you're doing with the new construction or something that's longer, feel free to adjust that. Here's where you put in what percentage you're going to be paid. Most people put agreed upon amount via seller or MLS. You can leave the rest of this blank. The next page is going to give you a protection period. I recommend you put anywhere between 30 days. Some people do 45 days. Completely up to you. And then lastly, you're going to just review to make sure that the transaction fee is on this page. And you'll see here, you don't need to fill anything out here. These blue sections mean that they're going to be pre-filled. Next, you have the understanding buyer's rights, which is already ready to go. And then you're going to have the electronic signature certification form. If there's no property address, you can just put to be determined here. And if there's no seller, you just leave that blank. And that's it. We've filled in everything we need to fill in, so we're going to go save and continue. And now this is where you can actually name this file. So here you might put, buyer, last name, file, and first name or whatever, however you want to save them. And you can save them in a folder, and I would put their buyer name here and click save. So you'll see that the system now is asking you what you want to do with these documents. And I'm assuming you want to send these over to signatures for the buyer, but you can email the documents to the client as a PDF. You can fax them. You can send it to them for e-signing. You can print it as a PDF. You can also send it to a client e-signing other. That means using a different system than Forms R Us. So if you want to send it to a DocuSign, you can do that. Or you can just do nothing and just save it for now. We're going to go ahead and just click on Send to Client for e-sign. So right now we have your email here, and then it has the request to name this file. You can just put buyer documents. If you want to type a message to them, you can type a message here. And if you want to put an expiration date, you can. I usually leave that blank. The signature style, they're going to require them to type it in. And then you're just going to verify the information of who it's going to here. And then you, as the buyer's agent, want to go ahead and drop your information here. And you just do that by clicking Use My Profile. Now we're going to submit to edit the signed locations. Now, because all the documents we put in were already put in by the system, it's going to already have all the signatures in these documents, but we're just going to make sure they're in the right places. So you're going to get to this page. It has not sent anything to anyone yet. This is where you have to click on Edit Signing Locations. And then as you're in here, you're going to just make sure you'll see these little initial boxes, and it'll show you who the signer is. In this case, it's buyer email at email.com, which is the buyer. So you just want to go through and make sure that it's filled in everything properly. Looks good to me. You'll see this document is going to require your signature as the agent as well as the client. Very nice. If that all looks good, you're just going to save it and then exit. And now it says unsent. All you have to do now is just invite signers and it'll send it out for signatures. That's all there is to it. I hope this video helps you get familiar with the system. It's pretty simple to use, especially when you're using the Contract Wizard. Have a great one.